street. And I know probably everybody that's standing in this room can point to a time where there's a nicely resurfaced street and there was a DWP or a pure sanitation or a contractor truck out there seemingly the very next day ripping it up. And we try everything we can do to avoid that. The problem with a lot of this is funding comes from different sources. Priority for streets getting done are different than priorities for us. Place where the street might be old might not be where we have the 100-year-old pipe. You know, streets don't last 50 years. You know, and a 40-year-old pipe, fine and dandy to us. A 40-year-old street that hasn't been touched is junk. So that's the problem. We work on that. It's an issue that we try to get together planning all the time on. We hope to get better at it, but I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that that's not going to happen again.
Okay. Charles Baker, great question. I think it is anyway. It's been reported that city employees transfer from one agency into the DWP results in substantial salary increases for those employees. And it's my understanding also, just to expand on this a little bit, that, I mean, he wants to know why, but I think from what I've heard is that employees transfer to DWP because you guys pay a lot more, and then I believe that the last few years of a employee's salary, that's what their pensions are based on for the rest of their lives. So the taxpayers are basically burdened because that revolving door keeps going through DWP.
Let's make a difference between customers or ratepayers. I like to call our customers and having to pay our rates, and taxpayers. It's two different. Same people, you pay taxes and you pay rates, but you don't pay taxes for us, you pay rates for us.
Well, we pay rates, but we don't really have a choice, do we? You gotta have a little out there.
I think it's true, but at the end of the day, you pay rates whether you're a investor home utility, you pay rates whether you're not, and our rates are lower than Edison's. But at the end of the day, most utilities are monopolies. That's kind of the way the world works. So getting back to your question, Ralph, are our salaries higher than other city salaries? Yeah, they are. They are higher. They're higher for a couple of different reasons. In some reasons, it's a matter of people that are handling high voltage lines and go out 24 hours a day on a call up there are going to get paid more than somebody who doesn't do that. That's thing one. But let's be totally clear. Class for class, do DWP employees generally make more than their city counterparts? Yes, they do. You know, it's been that way for a long time. Some of it's union-related issues and how things have been bargained.
But I don't think that's his question. I think his question is, and I think my question is, if it's a ploy to get a higher pension just to work for a few years at a higher salary, that's really deceptive on the taxpayers. It's the taxpayers who are paying those pensions that are putting into that. If your department is allowing this as a mechanism to do favors for departments in the city of Los Angeles, it doesn't really seem fair, does it?
Well, I would have to say I would like not to necessarily. I'd like to have the freedom to go out and hire anybody anywhere. We do have to comply with civil service rules, so we have to offer up first to other city agencies. They go through a list, they get reviewed. Whoever goes through and meets the minimum requirements goes through an interview process. Get the top 5 people on that list, or what they call, quote, reachable, and whoever there is there. Are people going from other city departments to DWP to do exactly what you say? I believe that happens, yes. And do I have the ability to stop it happening? No, I don't.
Who does?
You know, that's a really great question. I think it's an issue that's a matter that needs to probably get addressed by council. You probably have to take a look at what our civil service rules are associated with that. There's lots of different moving pieces around that, and it is an issue.
Does it make your department run more efficiently? If it doesn't, why don't you take charge of this and go to council and talk about that?
Well, that issue has been talked about with council, and there's another issue with respect to that too, and that is, to make sure we're clear, when someone comes over and becomes a part of the department, they don't bring their city pension with them.
Okay.
So we end up picking the pension up on that too. So it's actually, at the end of the day, it's a good deal for the taxpayer, not quite so good a deal for the ratepayer.
Alan Vukovic asks, why can't homeowners use gray waters, such as washing machines?
You know, it's a big issue out there right now. We would like to do more of it. It comes down to, the long and short of it is, California Department of Public Health rules that says you can't.
Okay. Isn't the gray water the same size as on the golf course, though?
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. So on the golf course, it has to meet certain standards of treatment, actually.
Okay.
Levels of treatment, but not potable water treatment. And you got to make certain that when you use it, you're using it so it doesn't spray. It's drip irrigation or underwater irrigation, so you're not. Again, it's all standards of what you can and can't do by California Department of Public Health.
Okay, Jules, I think you have something?
I had other good questions, but Richard cut me off.
No, we have, work anywhere. Jules, come on up. We're running out of
I
time.
thought I was going to get out of it. You're going to ask me